All right, welcome to this episode of Rob's Restoration Garage. We are going to work on the floor in this episode. I've bought some panels for it, both the replacement rail and one half of the floor pan. We got to do some cutting to get to that, and we got to do some repairs before we can actually start putting those panels on. But let's get at it, and I'll show you what I've been working on. So I know I'm going to replace the floor all the way out to this edge, so I went ahead and drilled out these spot welds. And I'm getting ready to cut it right there and cut it straight across there, and that piece will be able to come out. So I finally got the rest of this patch panel that somebody had put in cut out, and I'll show it to you from the underneath side here in a second. But this rail obviously is pretty rusted out and chewed up, so I'm probably gonna cut along here and put weld a new piece in that has a flange to it, so I'll be able to attach it to the floor. And then this piece, this diagonal piece, I think I'm probably just going to try to cut straight across and put a piece. I have to measure down, find out how far down I have to go, and put a new piece in there, and then patch the little holes too. But let me flip it over and show you what it looks like from the underneath side. So this was the part that I had drilled the spot welds out. This is the part I was pointing to from the above side. This is pretty solid. I'm gonna clean off the rest of those spot welds so it's nice and flat. This little piece, I'm gonna have to put a new piece in there. That's the extension of that rail. And like I said, cut a piece and weld a piece in that gives me a flange so that I can, attach the floor to that. It gives me a flange to attach the floor to. The other part is this rail here, which I already have ordered. Actually, you can see it sitting over there on the workbench. Ordered it in, and it'll get welded in as well. So that's what I'm working on so far. So I went ahead and cut this section out, including this part of the rail. I cut the diagonal piece down, basically let's try to get it to even with this. I may have to cut more, I don't know, we'll wait and see. And I cut out this little piece just because I needed the space to get through, to cut through this cleanly. But that's gonna, obviously, if you look up here, it's gonna have to get cut more anyway. But for right now, what I'm focused on is the rail. So I've got it cut. Now I'm gonna try to cut a piece that will get welded in, that will have the flange on it like this has, so that you can attach the floor to it. So gotta do a little mock-up with cardboard, and then cut a piece out and see if I can get it welded in there. Okay, so I got the first piece of metal welded in that I've been working on, and I'll show you what it looks like. I'm pretty satisfied with it. It was a matter of practicing my welding, but spotting, spot weld all the way down, and then kind of stitch weld it, grind it down, see where the holes were, and I just used a flashlight to shine through, and then plug all those holes, and then go back and grind it flat. So I think as I get better welding, I won't have to do that as much, but I'm satisfied with how it came out, and then I'm gonna start focusing on that inner wheel well so I can start getting to the point where I can put the floor in. But I'll show you what it looks like. So here's the rail that I welded in. I still gotta grind off some of this down here. I'll fix this other end when I fix this rail, but I'm pretty satisfied with that. That gives me a really solid flange to attach the floor to when I get to that point. Now I'm going to move to this diagonal piece, but before I do that, I'm going to try to get this inner wheel well cut and repaired while I have access to it.